place with LinkedIn, so that you can kind of consistently grow and really utilize a lot of the tools that LinkedIn has to offer. One of the most common problems I see people having with LinkedIn is that they kind of spend large amounts of time very infrequently on LinkedIn. So what that means is maybe they have some time one day, they sit there for 3 hours playing around with it, they kind of get somewhere, then they give up, they burn out, and then a month goes by and they try again. I'm a big believer that social media and LinkedIn, for that matter, are a lot like working out. You want to put in your 25 minutes a day, and for the long term, you're a lot healthier and obviously much more elusive. So what I want to go over today is just to kind of give you a few pointers on things you should be trying to do at least on a weekly basis. So, in the past we've gone over the profile, we've gone over really your connections and that kind of strategy. And just to kind of give you the quick summary, I'm a big believer that LinkedIn is broken down into 3 different segments. There's obviously the profile aspect, which you want to have your profile polished. It should be an online resume. It should be totally complete. And if somebody goes to your profile, they know who you are, what you specialize in, and how you can help them. All right? So that's the first aspect. The second aspect is connecting with people. You want to make sure that you're connecting with everybody. I don't care if they're competitors. I don't care if they're long-lost relatives that you don't like. In the end, connecting with people gives you future options. It gives you the ability to send out messages. And then finally, you want to understand how to use those connections to send out targeted messages to. And again, the whole reason we want to even consider spending any time with any of this stuff is because a high percentage of people obviously are really locked into LinkedIn and they focus on it, and there's results to be had. So what I want to cover today is just kind of take you through one little segment, which is, okay, you've connected with somebody. What do you do next? So what you want to do when you connect with somebody, first is I suggest sending them some sort of message. I like to have actually something saved on my computer that's kind of generic and that I can just go to anytime I connect with somebody and actually copy and paste it and send it to them. I like to call it like a pre-written message. So here's an example of what I kind of have saved on my computer. And this is something that you could write up yourself. So it could just kind of say, like, I just wanted to thank you for connecting with me on LinkedIn. I specialize in working with business owners, helping them insure their businesses and property. Please let me know what you specialize in, and I'll try to refer people your way. I can be reached at, and then give your email address. So my point is you connect with somebody. Next step is to send them kind of a thanks for connecting message. You should have that message saved on your computer so you can easily go in, copy and paste it, and then go into LinkedIn. And we're using, I have a gentleman who's volunteered his profile. You can go in and click on connections, and what you should do is get comfortable with the sorting features. So under sort by recent conversation, just select new. And what it'll do is it'll pull up all the people you've recently connected with in that order. So you can just go through and go to the people that you haven't sent a message to yet and just check their names. Put a little check in the box. So maybe you want to do this every week. And the people you've connected with that week, just put a little check in the box, right? And then scroll back to the top and click the message tab. And then, okay, so those people you connected with are in there. You can just hit copy and paste your message in, type, thanks for connecting, right? And send off that message. So that's something you really should get in the habit of doing, is having this pre-written message, have it saved to your computer, and then maybe once a week, the new people you're connecting with, go in there, select them, and obviously send the message to them. Now, why do you want to do that? Well, in my opinion, you want to do that because it's very likely that that person is now going to take an extra minute and really take a look at your profile. And as I've done in some past webinars, I've really tried to hit on the point that your profile needs to be really polished. You're not going to get referrals. You're not going to get any leads if your profile is not set up professionally. That becomes the foundation of it, right? And we've talked about that in the past. And I don't want to harp on it too much, but my point is this is kind of a little thing you should be doing. obviously that allows you to get more results. So then once you do that, then the next step is to go back into those connections, right, and make sure that you are actually putting them into organized folders. And I'll spend more time on this probably next week or the week after. I'll do a special webinar just on tagging. But you want to get in the habit of putting your connections into organized folders. So if you go into your connections and you click on the All Contacts, you'll see a button called Tag. That translates to folder. A tag is a folder. And what I want everyone to get into the habit of doing is making sure that everyone you're connected to is put into an organized folder. So people say, why? Why do I want to do that? The reason you want to do that is because that then lets you go into your connections, pick a folder, which might be current clients, business owners, individuals, auto insurance clients, whatever. Hopefully you can come up with different folders that really pinpoint who that connection is. Maybe it's competitors, right? And you want to put them into those folders so that you can then efficiently send a mass message to these people very quickly. And I guess what I'm getting at is if you don't do that, then you will not be able to use LinkedIn's messaging tools. Most common question, Ken, why do I want to use LinkedIn's messaging tools? Can't I just send an email out to these people? An email seems a lot easier and a lot more efficient. Well, you could do that, certainly could. But what I have found is if I send an email to 1,000 people, I usually get 350 of those people reading the email. If I send the same message via LinkedIn's messaging tools, I usually get 750 people reading it via LinkedIn. So it's a 40% increase in read-throughs. And again, that goes to my whole point. The only reason we even care about LinkedIn is people pay attention to it. And if you send a LinkedIn message to somebody, it looks unique in their inbox. They take a second and go, oh, I got a LinkedIn message from one of my connections. Let me check this out. Nobody's ignoring a message from their connections. Well, at least 75% of the people seem to be paying attention to it. So that's why we want to use it. But more importantly, think about your business. You have different types of client segments. Maybe some are business owners, some are individuals, some are people with money, some are people who are seniors. If you could take the time to break down all these people you're connected with, put them into different segments, then you can come up with a really good message that's targeted to them. And I think that's the whole point. If you can come up with a targeted message and send it out to a targeted group, you're going to get a much higher conversion ratio for whatever you're trying to do, rather than just blindly sending out messages to people that it may not be relevant to. So I don't mean to ramble on, but I think today's point is that you want to take some time and you want to make sure you're doing the little things right on LinkedIn. You want to make sure that your profile is set up correctly. You want to make sure that you are connecting with your clients. And once you're connecting with them, sending them a little thank you for connecting message, going in there and actually organizing them and putting them into subfolders, because all this allows you to do is utilize LinkedIn. The other option is to kind of do nothing, and then what happens is you get a great idea and you want to execute it, but it'll take you 10 hours. So you see what I'm saying, guys? Like if you don't organize your connections, to go through and select 1,000 connections will take you hours. Whereas if you have everything pre-selected, all you have to do is go in here, click on All Contacts, click on Business Clients, and it pulls up everyone who's your business client. You hit Select All, you hit Message, and boom, you're sending out a message to all those people in that folder. You could send out 1,000 messages in 20 minutes. And that's the difference between the beginner on LinkedIn and the novice. The beginner obviously does the beginner wastes time. They don't know what they're doing, and they get ideas and they see the value of it, but they can't execute it. The expert has spent the time. They have a good organization, because LinkedIn is really like a database, guys. You're connecting with people, you're organizing them within the database, and then you're able to utilize them in the database and market to them and obviously have a good chance of getting results. So that being said, let me answer some of these questions